You asked me if I know the epic of Sundiata, the great founder of the Malian Empire. Ha ha ha! You were right not to seek out any ordinary jelly. What is a jelly, you ask? You must not be from around here. A jelly is a historian, musician, poet, and storyteller. I am Kuyate, jelly and historian of the royal family. Listen well, and I will tell you of this man, Sundiata. One day, a mysterious hunter arrived at the court of Nare Magan Konate, king of the Mandinkas. The hunter prophesied that an ugly woman would be brought into court to be presented as a bride. If the king accepted her, she would bear him a son who would one day become the greatest king the Mandinkas had ever seen. Years passed, and one day 2 hunters from the Do kingdom brought with them Sologon, an ugly woman, hunchbacked, with an offering of marriage. Konate remembered the prophecy and accepted. Sologon gave birth to a son, Sundiata. For the first several years of his life, Sundiata could not stand upright. Through secret and magical arts, a blacksmith made a sturdy iron rod so that the boy might prop himself up on it, but even that broke beneath him. Only when Sundiata found a branch from the sacred baobab tree did he finally take his first steps. Konate's first wife seethed with jealousy. However, she saw no reason for this feeble son of a second wife to take the throne. In spite of the prophecy, she wished her son, Tankaran, the eldest, to be the heir to the kingdom. When Konate died, she exiled Sologon and Sundiata. They fled from land to land, but each kingdom feared the wrath of the new King Tankaran and would not harbor them. Only the Mima, far to the south, did not fear the Mandinka. They are a people of proud warriors. Among them, Sundiata learned how to hunt and fight. He left his disability behind and became as fierce and strong as a lion. Before long, he was ready to take back his rightful place on the throne. When he arrived, however, he found war already upon the kingdom. Soso warriors from the far north had overrun the capital on the river, slaughtered the fearsome King Tankaran and all of the royal family, and claimed the land of the Mandinkas for their lord, Sumanguru. Sundiata barely escaped the raiding parties ravaging his homeland. As the only surviving man with a claim to the Mandinka throne, Sundiata would never truly be safe from the grasp of Sumanguru. Sundiata knew that he must tread carefully until the time was right, and hide from the Soso scouts until he was strong enough to strike back. Rumors describe Sumanguru as a cruel tyrant and a sorcerer in command of powerful spirits. He was said to possess a magical balafon, which would grant him victory if he played it. He could not be injured except with the spur of a rooster. The whispers abounded. Regardless of the rumors, he was above all an ambitious conqueror from the west seeking to seize the lands of the old empire of Ghana for his own. To this end, he moved his seat of power to Gumbi Saleh, once the capital and heart of that ancient kingdom. Sundiata knew that contesting such a man would be difficult. The Soso had allied with other tribes in the north, the Jolof, the Diafanu, and others like them who made great gains from Soso control of the Saharan tribe. With such powerful allies and even more powerful armies, no one dared to rise up against them. Sundiata had one advantage. He was still remembered as the crippled prince of the Mandinkas, still thought to be weaker than he really was. As long as this was to be believed, the Soso would dismiss him as inconsequential, and he could form his own alliances. To provide proof of his miraculous transformation from crippled boy to strong prince, he took up the baobab branch from his youth and began a journey. From people to people and kingdom to kingdom, he traveled to rally support. to prove he was strong enough to retake his lands from Sumanguru. Sangaran, Labe, Niger, Tabon, and Ouagadougou. One by one, the kingdoms of the south and east rallied to Sundiata. They were small, however, and Sumanguru had conquered 9 of similar size already. As successful as Sundiata had been, his coalition could not hope to defeat the Soso just yet. Sundiata needed a better plan. As the sun sank between the trees, making its way ever closer to the horizon, a trader arrived. His turban and garments marked him as a foreigner long before he spoke. His thick accent betrayed his Arabic origins. He spoke of his desire to see the young prince on the throne and boasted of the great deposits of gold in Sundiata's lands. Even so, traders like him could not access it, not with Sumanguru in power. The tyrant had given his allies control over the gold and salt trades, and merchants were left at their mercy. The Arabs spoke of the gold and salt trades as if they were the flowing blood of these kingdoms. If the blood no longer flows, the beast is dead. Sundiata thought for a long time about the merchant's words. The next day, he assembled a band of raiders. If trade was the blood of Sumanguru's empire, then Sundiata would attack its throat like a lion pouncing on its prey. Sundiata raided with unbridled success. With trade diverted into Mandinka lands, allegiance to Sumanguru began to waver across his empire. Sundiata put the gold he gained to good use, assuring that his people and allies profited from the new riches. He had proven himself not only an able commander, but also an able king. He enjoyed good relations with the Arab merchants and often invited Muslims to his court. Eventually, Sundiata himself converted to their faith. With his newfound successes came greater attention, though. Every city in West Africa bellowed the name of Sundiata, the lion, king of the Mandinkas, the king of Mali. Sumanguru could no longer afford to dismiss the once crippled prince. He assembled his armies for war. A beast is most dangerous when cornered. Sumanguru was no different. He struck southward into the Kangaba heartland, where he had slaughtered the Mandinka royal family once before. He was rumored to have brought his mystical balafon with him to summon victory, and jellies were already singing that the battle had been won by the sorcerer before it even began. Sundiata met him by the Niger River at a place called Girina. Loyal Soso and Jollof warriors stood tall, banging their shields and grinning at the soldiers of the Malian alliance. Horses and camels kicked up enough sand to shroud the sun at noon. Sumanguru himself took the field in the dusty twilight, and Sundiata faced him from across the hot expanse. As the armies prepared to charge, the music of a balafon began to flow through the air. The decisive moment was at hand, and all of West Africa awaited the victor. The armies crashed against each other. They buckled and wrenched, bristling serpents coiling and riding amidst the clamor of weapons and rumble of hooves. Many times the Malian soldiers faltered, but at the critical moment, Sundiata would ride across the lines to rally his men, inspiring them to push on and prevail. At long last, the Soso onslaught slowed and the resolve began to fade. Sensing that the tide had turned, Sumanguru abandoned his men and fled into the mountains. At the sight of their leader in flight, the exhausted Soso lines collapsed. The ensuing celebrations lasted for days, with feasts of such bounty as were not seen before nor ever since. All the kings of the coalition gathered to proclaim Sundiata their Mansa, the king of kings. Mali had an empire, and Sundiata its emperor. Mali now dominated the land on both sides of the great river. Mansa Sundiata reigned freely from the gold mines of Bambouk to the city of Gao, but it was not enough. Sumanguru fled to a stronghold of Gombe Saleh, still wreaking havoc wherever he could. As long as he lived, he would be a threat to the peace of the realm. Sundiata called upon his men once again and began a long siege of the mighty Soso capital, the former seat of the Ghanese Empire. Sundiata would not be denied his final victory. With peace in the empire and his ancestors avenged, Mansa Sundiata settled well into his role as the ruler of Mali. In peace he was effective an emperor as he was in war, building markets and mosques across his lands. He was a model for all emperors to follow, making his country a center of learning and culture at the edge of the Sahara. For centuries afterward, peace and stability reigned. And so I remain to tell his story. Balafaseke Kuyate is my name, his humble family historian, a Jele of superb bloodline and patronage. And this is Sumunguru's balofon, which I stole before the battle at Karina, and played that day to inspire the victory of Sundiata.